Good afternoon. Everybody ready? All right. We are here today to discuss a gambling investigation, and I'm pleased to have the following enforcement partners here with me at the podium today. We have Special Agent in charge of FDLE, Dennis Bussell, and then to my left we have Statewide Prosecutor Nick Cox of the Florida Attorney General's Office, and also Director Tom Hackney from Homeland Security for the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. This afternoon we executed search warrants at the business of Senior Social Ash number 1, that's ASH number 1, located at 5235 Normandy Boulevard, and Senior Social Ash number 2, located at 4578 Blanding Boulevard. These businesses were offering casino-style slot machine play through the use of basic computers, such as those you see over here on the table next to me. These search warrants are the result of a criminal undercover investigation initiated during the spring. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office served as the lead agency with coordination and assistance from the Florida Illegal Gambling Task Force, comprising of officers from the Seminole County Sheriff's Office, the Volusia County Sheriff's Office, and the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, as well as cooperation from the Statewide Prosecutor's Office and our own local state attorney's office. You may recall that in 2013, Operation Reveal the Deal. Many of these same locations were the sites of internet cafes that had claimed to operate an electronic sweepstakes with gaming devices or terminals in conjunction with the alleged sale of internet time. Those internet cafes closed down after Operation Reveal the Deal, following that prosecution by the state of Florida and after the legislature adopted House Bill 155, which provided clarification that the operations were in fact not legal. Many of the internet cafe-style businesses subsequently reopened and claimed to have eliminated the element of chance in their operation by pre-revealing to the customer what was won or lost in advance of any monetary purchase. However, the unpredictability of outcomes or element of chance for each individual customer still remained. Thus, it was a violation of Florida state statutes governing illegal gambling. It's clear that these businesses were attracting customers by awarding cash prizes using casino-style games of chance. Our undercover officers made multiple visits to those locations and were able to win as much as $136 gambling in a single visit, but more often than not lost as much as $45 per visit while gambling. During today's search warrants, we had 5 arrests of 5 of the business employees on gambling charges, which included possession of an illegal slot machine or gambling device, which is a misdemeanor, and also being an agent or employee or keeper of a gambling house, which is a third-degree felony. The 5 employees arrested at these 2 businesses are still being processed at this time, and the Police Information Office will distribute their arrest and booking reports as they become available. Other arrests are pending, but I'm not going to speak to those today. The patrons that were found at the business at the time the search warrants were executed were interviewed and released. I would also like to say that JSO has been investigating the operations of these internet cafe-style businesses since the summer of 2013. This operation is still active and ongoing, and I'm unable to reveal the details concerning any continuing investigations. However, I want to close with the same message that I had back in April for the business community out there when I said this should serve as a warning that we are going to continue to enforce the laws of the state of Florida, and those internet cafe operators who are found to be outside the law are going to be held accountable. I also want to put owners and landlords on notice. Leasing or renting property to individuals or businesses conducting illegal activity opens them up to potential prosecution and property seizures through the Florida Contraband Forfeiture Act. For those owners who who still support and invest in these illegal gambling practices, I can assure you that you're throwing your valued resources in the trash. We're going to continue. In the past, we often seized exemplars in these operations. We're now seizing every piece of electronics in the business used to commit the crime. Every single piece. So, you can continue to buy computers like these, continue to buy the televisions that are up, running on the walls and all of that. We're going to continue to seize all of this property and see that it's destroyed or put to legal use. That's the message. If you're out there running them, we may be in your place doing an undercover operation today. With that, I will throw it over to Nick Cox, the statewide prosecutor, for a comment. Nick?
Thank you, Sheriff. When we were back in Orlando at the FDLE office several months ago after we did the last operations that included some in Duval County, I had said, I had warned all the people out there that were doing this and thinking about it, this is illegal. Don't do it, because if you do it, we're coming. Well, I misspoke, because I didn't realize in Duval County at the time, Sheriff Rutherford was coming, and he's coming with a vengeance. Sheriff, I want to compliment you on this, because quite honestly, what I saw today, I was out at some of the operations your vice unit were running, and candidly, Sheriff's office isn't playing. Sheriff Rutherford isn't playing with this. They are seizing everything. They are not waiting for arrest. We have to wait on our arrest and work on the results of our search warrants. He's not waiting on he's making probable cause arrest now. I would say that Sheriff Rutherford is making one heck of a statement. Sheriff, seriously, I really commend you on that. I compliment you on what you're doing here. We are thrilled to be a part of this. We are thrilled to do anything we can to assist. I also want to say thank you to Angela Corey, because I think without Sheriff Rutherford and Angela Corey, this was not going to be happening the way it is. You know, this is, I will say this as the statewide prosecutor, this is going to have reverberations statewide. It's going to have reverberations that are going to go through this industry, because this industry has tried to make this county its epicenter of operations. And Sheriff John Rutherford is saying no more. Good for you, Sheriff. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And I want to thank the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. They've been great partners in this, as well as all the officers from Volusia in South Florida. So thank you all very much. We'll throw it over for questions.
Scott Johnson, Channel 4. Only 2 places. We know there's a lot all over town right now. What's the status? Are we looking it up? You say you're looking at those others?
I can't tell you where the undercover operations are at, but if I had investments in property in other locations, I would think about shutting that down immediately.
But why these 2 ones? Were these 2 more just where you started, or can you say?
We reached the point where we had a firm case and got the search warrants and went out and served them and made those arrests. And we will continue to do that.
Stephanie Brown with WOKB. The 5 people who have been arrested, you said they're employees. Were they knowledgeable of the business? This was more than just a clerk taking money?
Yeah, I don't want to get into all the details that may come out in court, but I can tell you this. Through some of the behavior that our undercover officers saw in the business, even during the time that we were taking them down, yes, they absolutely knew what they were doing.
You said other counties like Seminole were involved. Why other counties if this is a Duval operation?
It's a task force.
Okay.
It goes back to Operation Reveal the Deal.
And I'm confused. We go to these places every time they reopen, and they come to us, and I'm assuming on legal advice, saying, look, we now know it's legal. We've taken out the chance. They probably consulted with attorneys. Why is there such a disconnect for these businesses that they keep thinking, now I'm legal?
Well, I can't answer for them, but I can tell you this: pretty much, if you're given payouts through these machines, you can pretty much bet it's probably going to be gambling. I can't answer for them. But I can tell you this, we're seizing every one of their machines from now on. We're not taking an exemplar, we're taking every single one of them. And they're very expensive. You know, these laptops and these monitors, they're incredibly expensive. So my advice to them is, if you want to keep investing in that sort of thing, it's going to cost you.
Going after the landlords, is this a new process, or have you been doing that the whole time?
That is an option that's available.
Aliana Gomez with Action News. Do you know, Sheriff, if these locations were formerly named Pete's Retreats?
Yes, they were.
Yes. And are there any consequences for those who are taking part in these gambling? You know, you arrested 5 employees, but what about the people who are there playing the games?
The people that are playing the games, we interviewed them. They don't know if it's gambling or not. They're not in the business. They're just participating. They're being told one thing and it's operating as something else. So no, we did not arrest any of the participants. However, they were interviewed.
Do you know what they're being told exactly when they are playing the games to kind of decipher whether this is something legal or not legal?
Well, I think they're given the advice that was mentioned over here that, hey, look, this is all legal. Come on in, spend your money, it's fine. Well, it's not.
And to clarify, when we had the initial Allied Vets big deal, there were state investigators there, JSO was involved. Is this specifically a JSO operation? Is this conjunction with the task force? Explain that. This is all JSO?
This is, well, it started with JSO when we get to the prosecution end of it and the seizures of the equipment and all of that. We brought in the task force.
But that's different than the first time with the Allied Vets case, where it wasn't more of a state-wide, state attorney general's office, just to clarify.
But, you know what it is?
Sheriff, I mean, basically, Allied Veterans became a multi-county situation. I mean, we were affecting, I think it was 10 judicial circuits throughout the state of Florida, so that's what the reason that state investigators and the statewide prosecutor handled that specifically. This one is focused on Duval County. That's why Sheriff Rutherford has taken the lead on it, and Ms. Corey's office will be prosecuting it. It's a jurisdictional thing.
Ann Schindler, First Coast News. A lot of plea deals and such in the Allied Veterans cases, a lot of prosecutions that were not carried out, I guess. And I'm wondering if there's any discouraging, if it's discouraging in the enforcement arm to see that happen.
I wouldn't say discouraging as much as it is frustrating to me. I mean, I was the lead prosecutor on Allied Veterans, and quite candidly, it ticks me off. And that's why I'm thrilled to death to see him carting out this property in box trucks and actually taking people out in handcuffs. I could not foresee, when we were engaging in negotiations with a lot of those people in Allied Veterans, I could not foresee people taking the steps they're taking now. I mean, I guess money is just that strong of a draw. But I could not foresee this happening. And that's why we've taken further steps statewide on the task force. And that's why we are more than happy to join Sheriff Rutherford in anything he wants us to do. So,
Mr. Cox,
not as much, it's frustrating. It's aggravating.
You say you've dealt with the other counties, the Seminole, Orlando, but you pointed out that Jacksonville seems to be the center. Why is this industry fixated on Duval County?
Let me answer that question this way. It seems like we repeatedly seem to have an attorney or attorneys that seem to continually be willing to take the steps in Duval County to say that this is legal and to put their necks out, essentially, and continue to say that this is legal. And I would say they are putting their necks out. I would be very, very careful in advising my clients to say this is legal, go and do it. But that's up to them. But that's the one thing that we continually saw in Duval County. Every attorney that we've seen that has really pushed this hard and that has been willing to take the lead, for instance, Kelly Mathis, who we convicted, has been in Duval County.
And we haven't arrested any attorneys in this sweep, have we?
No, sir.
The prior bust a couple of months ago was a few different counties. Today, is that just Duval County that we're dealing with, or were there others that were done in conjunction?
This is just Duval County. All right.
Thanks.